So this is what a retirement home must be like. So yesterday, a shocking announcement was revealed when we got Sonic Blitz. And things like this are now in the Sonic franchise. If you've been following this stuff for a while, it may not come as a shock to you. If you look at this article right here, we've known since at least February, something called Sonic Blitz has been trademarked. Some people were even thinking that this could be a leak for Sonic Frontiers 2, according to 4chan. And then we got the Google Play Store listing and we found out exactly what Sonic Blitz is. And it was a mobile trading card game. Hey, would you look at that? We got some new renders. Surely everyone will like them. So we took a trip to the comment section. And as you guys see right here, people are saying, I thought Sonic Blitz was Frontier's sequel. This one right here says, that's depressing. I got hyped for nothing. This comment above me says, we got baited. They were talking about this being an open world game or something like that. I mean, honestly, it wasn't me that said that. So yeah, you kind of see the collective sentiment out there. Once people found out what the game is, their excitement went down the drain. And then something extremely weird happened. People took a look at some of the screenshots that were available for the game. One thing that people noticed is that every single character has an original logo. Also, look over to the right. Who's that in the corner? Is that Ray? A character that hasn't been seen since Sonic Mania. And before Sonic Mania, Ray the Flying Squirrel hasn't been seen since Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog, an old arcade game. Once people started noticing characters like Ray, their interest started to peak a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, the gameplay has been shown for the game. And we already have some footage of what it looks like. The gameplay is exactly what you would expect from a game like this. I don't expect it to blow anyone's expectations away. Here's some footage courtesy of Tails' channel, and we got our first look at Super Sonic in the game and how the card functions. So if you look at this animation right here, you'll see that the characters do some cool things. But the most important thing that people were pointing out is that we're actually getting, for the first time ever, for some of these characters, their first official 3D models. For example, the Conductor. Also, once again, if you take a look over here, we have our first 3D render of Mighty. So now, people's interests are starting to peak a little bit. Mighty and Ray, everybody loves those guys. Welcome to my classroom, by the way. How to sell Sonic products to Sonic fans. I wrote on the whiteboard, characters. I'm sure we all know just exactly how divided the Sonic fan base can be. How can you unite a bunch of people that sometimes disagree with each other? There's so many different formulas. You have the Archie Sonic comics, you got the IDW comics, you have all these different types of games, media, movies, TV shows. How do you get these people to unite? I have an idea. Let's give everybody what they want. Take a look at the description for Sonic Blitz right here. It says Sonic Blitz is the fastest collectible card game that's going to celebrate the rich history of Sonic the Hedgehog. In addition to that, there's another thing that they say at the bottom right here. And it says that you're going to collect cards from all corners of the Sonic universe. Now, that's pretty big because they said all corners of the Sonic universe. Okay, so we're talking about potentially everything. So some data miners did some digging into Sonic Blitz because there was a soft release in the Philippines. So there's some versions of the game that are out there, but it looks like some of the characters that they found are some deep cuts. I'm in a courtroom right now because it feels like some of these characters that were found in the game could land Sega in a courtroom. A lot of this mind-blowing information that we're sourcing comes from this account right here on Twitter, so make sure to go give them a follow. Also, this account right here has been assisting, so shout out to these two. So the first thing that we have is the more high-quality version of the Mighty render. You guys see it right here. It looks pretty good, actually. I think this is one of the better classic Sonic renders. But the data mine files reveal something that has never been seen before, and that is modern Mighty. The only time we've ever seen Mighty in any official capacity has been his classic version. Okay, technically in the Archie comics, we've seen modern Mighty before, but we've never actually seen modern Mighty in an actual Sega game before. So for the first time ever in an official capacity, we have a 3D model for Mighty the Armadillo. And this is what he looks like with his textures applied. Honestly, he looks kind of similar to Sonic if you think about it. Here's our first look at the Conductor in 3D. And it looks like the Sonic IDW fans will also be eating as well. Since Mighty and Ray are in the game, you would only imagine that even more characters will appear. So obviously that means that Tangle and Whisper are going to make it into the game as well. You want to talk about fan favorites returning from the dead? We have Chip here, all the way from the retirement home. We haven't seen this guy in a while. No surprise here, but we have a 3D model for Chaos. He's been in a lot of Sonic games, especially the spin-off, so I'm actually not too surprised about this one. Also, for all my Ray fans out there, we have a full look at what the 3D render of Ray looks like. I mean, it's really cool to see a lot of these characters in the Sonic franchise that don't really get as much shine as they normally would. But don't worry, guys. This Sonic Blitz rabbit hole that we've been going down goes so much deeper, and you guys don't even understand. Because even more Sonic characters that are way deeper in the bag have been revealed. So this post right here shows the Conductor, but also Hachika Mack, who's from the Sonic Adventure games, or more recently, the Knuckles TV show, randomly. We also have our first 3D render of Bean the Dynamite from the Sonic the Fighters game. So he's kind of like one of those obscure characters. You never really see him at all in the franchise. Other than Sonic the Fighters, he's made a couple of cameo appearances in some other games like Generations and Mania, but he really hasn't been like a prominent character. So it's definitely cool to see, but it gets even deeper, which is wild. style. The bird character from Tails Adventure, he has a full-blown 3D render as well. I think every character that makes it into the game will have one. I think what's even crazier about this is that this isn't the only character from Tails Adventure that appears. We also have Speedy. Allegedly, he's been found in the files, but also a modern Fang the Hunter has also been discovered in the data mine files. So maybe for the first time ever, we can see modern Fang. To me, I feel like just finding Mighty and Ray is crazy in of itself, but this is really where all hell broke loose. So if you take a look at this Sonic Stadium post right here, they kind of encapsulate and summarize everything. It says, in case you missed it, a new mobile game that shadow dropped last night is hiding a lot of secret character information within its files, as data miners have discovered references to Sally Acorn. Yes, the Archie comics could potentially be coming to this game, or they're at least just in the files. If you look at some more of the leaked files, you'll see even crazier stuff. You'll see Honey the Cat, who was also featured in Sonic the Fighters. You'll see Tumble the Skunk, Nicole from the Archie comics, and again, Sally Acorn. I feel like this is the biggest deal possible. Like, any Archie characters just always felt like they were off limits. A lot of the Freedom Fighter characters were extremely popular early on in the Sonic franchise. Mainly, they were utilized in the comic books, but there was actually one game where they were featured, which was Sonic Spinball, where they had a little cameo. Speaking of spin-offs and TV shows, Sonia and Manic from Sonic Underground were allegedly discovered in the files. It's very hard to determine whether or not this will stick, but just seeing these characters even being in the files in the first place is extremely intriguing and interesting. They basically took every single character that's ever appeared in the Sonic franchise, period, and thrown them into these game files. This post that I found on Twitter shows all the characters that were so far shown in the data mine. So there's a lot of familiar characters that you see, and it kind of opens up your eyes a little bit. It's like, wait, they could actually make a Sonic card game, and maybe it could be pretty cool. But if you look at some of the characters that are shown, one of which, if you look at the bottom right here, is Cosmo from Sonic X, also discovered in the leaks. Tons of Archie comics characters, which I feel like kind of opens up another can of worms. Like, can the Freedom Fighters finally return? We also got Infinite in there, but also there's another character that I find really interesting. One of the craziest characters that's been discovered in all this is Shade the Echidna. Now, there's a reason why this one is really controversial. Shade the Echidna, if you look right here, is a character that appeared in Sonic Chronicles and the Dark Brotherhood. Also, she's made appearances in the Sonic Archie comics. Now, the reason why she's controversial is because there's this giant lawsuit with Sega and a former writer from Archie named Ken Penders. So he's an interesting character for Sega. So he was a writer for the Archie comics, but when Sonic and the Chronicle Dark Brotherhood game came out, Ken Penders claimed that this game stole his original designs. So allegedly, he's claiming that some of the Echidna designs are his that he owns. Technically, when the lawsuit was filed, it allegedly was going to work in his favor, but there was like some type of stalemate or something like that. So Sega avoided some trouble, but ultimately they want nothing to do with basically any of the characters that he created. I'm not a legal expert. You can go do some research or watch a more detailed video if you'd like. But regardless, the character Shade is associated with Ken Penders and his lawsuits. So some of the most obscure names in the Sonic franchise are appearing in these data mine leaks. Now, this doesn't mean that they're actually going to make it in. I would imagine the ones that actually have 3D renders and also have 3D models that are found in the files, like those are definitely a lock to make it in. So there really are some incredibly deep characters in there, but the Archie comic stuff still seems a little bit up in the air. One thing I feel like is for certain though, it certainly kind of made me rethink what this Sonic the Hedgehog card game could be. It could actually be kind of interesting. I mean, one, just seeing artwork and renders and 3D models of the characters that we haven't really seen as prominent in the franchise would be a really cool thing. If Sonic Blitz is anything like the Pokemon card game where you could rip a couple free packs per day, and maybe if you play the game for a little bit, you get some more free packs. Like, if it's like that, then yeah, I'll probably download it. Imagine collecting like a super rare Sonic character that's super obscure in the franchise. Like, it just made me realize how many characters and assets they can actually put into this game. Listen, you definitely won't catch me spending any money on this game, but I'm just really curious at this point to see how everything unfolds. So let me know what you guys think about this. What does this mean for like the future of the Sonic franchise?